We thought this thing was going to blow wide open last night. We held it under check. I'm not sure if we can do that another night. I gotta go.
Once you feel the spirit, you become able to follow.
In 1990, I was 25, really at the peak of my youth, the end of my youth. NOLA was my paradise. At Cafe Brazil, I learned about the world, different elements mixing together. Even heard stories about magic from the old world. It got me searching in my world, something I could hold on to, saying that this is proof, this is God.
Welcoming Akimbo Movement Theater with a piece called In the Middle of It.
Life in New Orleans is a constant fight against water, from swamp, gulf, lake and river. Storms, floods, and fires plague the vulnerable structures. Most of the small city's buildings were destroyed by the devastating fire of 1788. In 1794, the Crescent City was hit by 3 hurricanes and another fire. The few buildings that escaped the disaster in 88, as well as most of the new ones, were lost again. New Orleans grows slowly, starved for capital and opportunity. The work was rough in 1800. More than half the population was African American, of which 2 out of 3 were slaves. Living in that town was an education, and perhaps a little peek into how to look at the world. At Cafe Brazil, the music was deeper than what I understood before. And the band's something different every night at that place, and enjoying and the new ideas from around the world. They say they have ley lines or something right at that corner, I don't know.
Through music, I found myself moved by a spirit. Spirit, what is that?
Within pictures, always after a deeper truth, an ecstatic truth that defines us as human beings, like justice or balance, going for the essential, right straight without detour. Where is it?
To track a path, the spirit, then move with spirit. Once you feel the spirit, you're able to follow.
There are certain numbers that every culture independently decided were magic numbers. 3, 7, 12. Not much in the world is consistent. Numerology is a subject that you can study for a very long time, and the more abstract your concept is, the more you can get into it, and the more complex things get for you. They call it the old religion, the old way. It's tied in with the belief of being tied in with the earth. Just because it mystifies us doesn't mean it's not natural. There is no such thing as supernatural. There's only mysticism. What was magic then is science now. What we know as magic now will be science in the future.
I thought I'd never leave New Orleans. I'm a roux of Catholic, Cajun, and Jew, fed on spicy shrimp and old world spirit. At Cafe Brazil, so many people from around the world. I remember he said immigration too loud, half the people getting out of there. New friends connected me to movies, stories, coffee and music. Helped me see life in the world with greater perspective while seeking for ma raison d'être. Ma raison d'être. Ma raison d'être.
This is Mecca, the man who threw out the idols and cleansed the Kaaba, the man through whom God revealed his great gift, the Quran. This man who changed the face of the world is Muhammad, messenger of God. The story of Muhammad, of the triumph of his passionate idealism over violent persecution, has now been told by a Muslim filmmaker, Moustapha Akkad.
Well, I did the film because it is a personal thing for me. Being a Muslim myself who lived in the West, I thought I should tell the story of Islam that will bridge this gap to the West.
The leading human character we see is Hamza, Muhammad's uncle. He's played in English by Anthony Quinn and in Arabic by Abdullah Reich.
Two actors have to do the same scene, exactly the same scene, but with two different languages. They both are afraid of each other. At the beginning, the spirit of competition was there. But then I found out that it was very healthy to really watch each other. And by doing so, I realized that it created such an atmosphere of cooperation. The actors were getting along together fine. They were getting together before the set and they were viewing the part. And I thought this is exactly what I wanted to do. This people, the contact of people, understand each other and getting along fine. This is exactly the purpose of the whole film.
My dad's house was underwater, and my whole family feel the strain of it, the panic. I kept in touch with him. We talked about organizing and getting supplies out and what we can do to help, to not be afraid. Just kept going. Dad was standing outside Lafayette, a place called Crowley, Louisiana. Next thing I heard, Dad is volunteering at the Cajun Dome. Staff of doctors and Red Cross and 7,000, 8,000 people at one point were at the Cajun Dome. So he'd walk the floors, check on people. He was working as a doctor doing Heiman Center. 18-hour shifts he was running. This guy's like over 70 years old and he's doing that stuff. At the time we really didn't know what to do next. We just kept going.
I was revisited by the same vision. It was very sudden. Loneliness in numbers expressed this way.